this is Tim from Your Six Studios. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how to add Backpaddles to your PS5 controller with the ExtremeRate Remap kit. And this is actually somewhat easy to do. It won't be that complicated. Just follow the simple instructions. And here is one of the shells that they give you for the back plate. And then here's all the buttons that we're going to be adding eventually here. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what type of controller we have, whether it's BDM 10, 20, 30, 40, or even 50. And you have to buy the correct remap kit that corresponds with the type of controller you have. Otherwise, if you buy the wrong one, it simply will not work. So I believe my controller is a BDM-40 controller, and I have the BDM-30 and 40 remap kit. So now that we know the proper controller, we bought the proper remap kit. Let's go ahead and take off this front little cover right here. And this is a brand new controller. I've never done this before. So just go to the bottom, and then you should be able to peel this up just like this, and this little cover will come off. So you can almost use your fingernails on it, but it will come with these little tools right here that you can just use. So let's take this off, and this should just pop off. So once we get this off, we can just put it to the side, just like that. All right, now take this piece and remove the L1 and R1, just like this, and just pop up. These will come off rather easy. And there's gonna be 4 screws now. There's going to be 2 on the top right here, boom, boom, and then on the bottom. So let's remove these 4 screws. All right, so there's my last screw. Now with all those removed, we want to go to the front here, and there's going to be 2 little clips that we just want to lift up on. Otherwise, the back cover will be a little bit difficult to remove. So just go into here, you can see them. Just lift these up and make sure they're not attached anymore. All right, now this back cover should be able to just lift up, and we should be able to take it off now. So you can also use your tool just to create some separation, and this should pop off. And do the same thing on the other side. And you might be trying to pull it off, and these are still attached. I can feel them. And I think I just turned on my PlayStation 5. So let's just feed it through now. Okay, just like that. Doesn't take too much effort. And let's go to this side now. And it should be coming off now. Here it goes, boom. And we will no longer need this back cover anymore because we're going to be placing on a new one. Unless you want to keep this, you can just align these different holes and just drill them exactly where they are. So you can see this one just comes with 4 different holes, and then this main hole right here. So you could do that, otherwise just use the one they give you. And the reason why you might want to use this one still, the white one, is because it's a different material. This material on this side feels a little bit better than this one. This one just feels like a very soft plastic. And they do kind of ridge it on this version I bought. But let's go back to this. Now let's remove the battery. So you can just grab this. If you're very gentle, you can just pull right here and it should lift up. If there is too much tension on that, don't just yank it because it will kind of strip this. You might actually have to use a tool to remove that, but most of the time I just remove it like I showed you, and there's no issue whatsoever. Now there's going to be 1 little screw right here that we can go ahead and remove. So let's do that. Get this out of the way. All right. Then we have to detach, I believe this is like the microphone. We can just detach it right here and be careful. All right, once this is off, this entire black piece should just be lifted up. And if you're careful, you can kind of see how this is sitting here, or how it is. If it falls off, just align it, in this little black piece right there, you can just smudge it together if it falls off this little ribbon cable. So I'm going to put this to the side, and we can zoom in now to my controller. And there's going to be a couple different ribbon cables we can detach. We got one here, 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 and here. So let's do that now. So it looks like there are different colors on this version. So let's remove the top one first, the left side, and the right side. And then we got one on the bottom. And this one looks like it's connected to the microphone. So you can see it right here. Or a speaker, I'm not sure. So let's go to this and connect it on the bottom. And if you have the little fingers, it'll be very helpful. This one's a little bit difficult to get off. All right, I almost got it. All right, it's lifting up. And if you just take a quick look at how this is, if it does come off, you can just reposition it just like this. All right, now let's continue. So we can feed this through here now. Just press the thumbsticks on the opposite side. And then just peel this over. And this little black piece will probably fall off on you. Just reposition it back into here. But that is this piece right here. And that usually always falls off on me, except with this new controller. There must be better glue or whatever they're using to keep it there. All right, so now what we want to do is to take this. And I'm not going to be doing any soldering with mine just because, you know, I just remap everything with the software on my PlayStation. And it's going to be this way. So you want the tape facing you just like this. And we're going to bend it over. And when you bend it over, you're going to see this little circuit board looking thing. So let's just put it in just like this and feed it over those cylinders. And then just press down a little bit and make sure it's flat. All right, and it's sitting flat on there now. It feels pretty good. And we're going to get this out of the way. And it's going to just sit like this. Now what we can do is feed this back through and get all these little ribbon cables on the side out of the way. And feed it back through. And we're going to have them under the board. So I'm just going to use my tool on here just to get them in front. Perfect. So we can feed this one back through. Push down. And then reconnect all these different ribbon cables. One on top, the sides, and then the one on the bottom. And the one on the bottom, it looks like, is under the board. So I'm going to lift up. And then just feed this one through. And get it on top. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to reattach all those now. Okay, so everything is reattached. It doesn't look like anything fell off on me. Now let's put this black piece back on. And I have this one screw with it too. So I'm going to put this back on. Just like this. Then take that one screw. And then screw this one screw in. Right here. And make sure the board is sitting tight too. So if you just have it resting against the thumbsticks, you might have to lift it up. Otherwise you won't be able to get the screw in. So let's make sure this is snug. All right, so that is good. Give it an extra turn. That's not coming off. And we have this one ribbon cable now we have to place back on. And this one usually comes off on me. So hopefully it doesn't. And as you can see, it's lifting up and it's out of position. So I just have to reseat this one back into the little plastic housing. And there's a little bit of a sliver on the side here that you're just going to have to slide it in. So just come at it on an angle and you should be able to just position it back in. And it takes a little bit of dexterity and good vision. Okay, so I got that repositioned. I'm just going to plug my battery in now. And then we can remove the tape covering and then tape it onto the battery. So just align this up and this should fit right in. So my battery's in. I'm going to remove this little tape and move this around and tape it onto here. Now we can ignore this little flap right here. We're not going to be using that because we're not soldering anything. So this is good to go now. And we can move this to the side temporarily and go to the back plate now that you want to go ahead and use. and we're going to be putting together the back pedals now. So we're going to have a lot of extra screws and stuff that we are going to want to keep to the side. So in case you do lose something, you got a lot of different options. I believe we're only going to be using 4 black screws and 2 of these little silver rods. So very easy to lose. Now what we want to do is just feed the rods through, just like that. And I got this side set up, and we want to put them onto here. So take a look at them, see if they're left or right. And those are going to fall off very easy. So this one says K2. So this one goes on the right side. So looks like that little rod fell out here. So I'm going to reposition this in here. And then I'm going to put it onto here. So this one goes on the right side. Should snap in perfect. Just like that. Let's go to the other side. And this one is going to be K1. So K2 on the right, K1 on the left. Let's just snap into here. And it will go in really easy. Just like this. Snap. And I don't think the bottom side snapped yet. There we go. And just make sure this is snapped in on both sides. Then we have to take all 4 screws and screw it on the back here. So it'll look like this. Just go to this side and screw 4 holes right here. And use these black small screws. They come with larger silver ones. I don't believe we're going to be using those unless we're going to solder. So let's get all of these in now. Alright, so I have them all screwed in now, and this is firmly attached. Now what we want to do is take our controller, then feed this through, just like this, through the bottom. And we can snap this on now. So with the plastic molding, it might not align absolutely correctly. So just look at the sides and snap it down. And do this side. And you can screw this in if you want. So it looks like this side is being a little bit stubborn, so I'm going to go ahead and just align it correctly. Now a lot of times you're going to notice these little clips that I told you about before. Since they're not exactly perfect, they're going to try to be under the controller, and that's why it's not aligning correctly. So just watch out for those. Now I'm just going through and I'm putting all the screws back in. So we got 2 on the bottom and then 2 on the top. And for the moldings on the top, you want to take the screwdriver and just screw a few times without the screw in there. It just is a little bit tight, and the screw won't go through there unless you do that. So I should be able to get it in now. So the left side was somewhat difficult. And then you should be able to get this one in just with these screws that you used before to take out. So you can see it's screwing in now. So if you don't do that, you'll probably run into a problem. Alright, so it seems like my front cover and my back cover are snug together. You can see there's not a lot of separation here. These pieces aren't under each other. And this part right here is snug. So I'm looking good. I could put the buttons back on now. I will have to do that at some point. So let's just snap them in here. Boom, just like that. And then go to this side. Now the only disadvantage is if you assemble your controller and it's not working, well, you're going to have to take everything apart again. So you might want to wait on this. So this will just snap into here very easily, and then give it a crunch and press it down. Boom. So this is all aligned. It looks good. I like the purple. I do. Purple, black, and white. Now let's go to the back of the controller and get this little circuit board, and it's going to be facing up like this. So flip it around, lift up on this little thing right here, because we're going to want to place the ribbon cable inside it. So this little flap will lift up. Just use your fingernail and then thread it into here. And once you throw it into here, snap it back down and lock it into place. Then we can just fold this back and forth, and we should be able to just position it onto here. And you can see it's going to be sitting and resting under these two little plastic attaching pieces on the bottom. And you can hear it click already. And then there's going to be two screw holes on the top. Use a black screw. And I believe they come with two smaller ones. And I don't believe these are it, but we can try them out. So these normal black screws aren't going to fit in here. There's going to be two smaller ones that we're going to want to use. So if you don't use these smaller black screws, it's going to lift up on the board and you won't be able to get it fitting snugly. So definitely use the smaller ones. Okay, now that we have that on, go to the back here and take this little black piece, the light indicator, just feed it through in here. Flip it around, just push it down in place so you can see the light indicator. Take your left and your right button now and just feed it on in here too. Now feed the left and the right side into here. And these aren't going to snap down, they're just going to kind of sit there. So we got that side in. Now let's go to this side and put it in. Okay, good. And then we got this middle button. Then we can just snap the back on once we have all the buttons on the correct angle here. Just like this. Snap it in place now. Try all the buttons, make sure it works. Pretty sure I just saw the light on. You can hold down the center select button and you can see the light. So I got power to it, and then I can try to remap it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to remap your ExtremeRate back panels on your PS5 controller. So flip it around, hold down the button in the middle until the indicator light turns on, and you're going to see the red light. Now go to your buttons and then just hold down the button on the paddle you want to remap and then your face button. So I think I already did this button. I'm going to go to the left side, hold this down, and then the circle button. So you can see the indicator light turned off because I was too slow. I'm going to hold this down again. Now I'm going to hold down my back paddle and the O button at the same time. And it's blinking, it's remapped. Now I'm going to do the K buttons. So I'm not sure which one I want yet, but let's try this button to triangle. Hold this down, it's remapped. Now let's go to this button and square. It's remapped. Now either just let it be or hold down the indicator button on the back. This little middle button. Alright, and I'm just in Call of Duty Black Ops right now. And you can see everything is working. And I'm going to jump with one of the paddles. I'm going to duck. I'm going to switch weapons. And then I think this is like reload. Yep. So the back paddles work. And this is probably my favorite remap kit of all the ones you can buy off Amazon. It's just the most reliable, and the back paddles actually feel pretty good compared to the other ones I had, which, you know, felt really cheap and broke. So I'd recommend this one for sure versus the other ones. Now the back paddles don't exactly align how I'd like them. I would like to be able to rest all of my 4 fingers on them, but these ones are easy enough to get to where I can just use them in the game without resting my fingers on them all the time. And these are actually really good back paddles for jumping or sliding. So hopefully this video did indeed help you out. If it did, leave it a big thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel down below for more tech out videos coming up next on your 6 Studios.